here's another replay of Zath's Replay Theater. This episode we're looking at the Yamato. That's right, the Tier 10 Japanese battleship that completely destroys everything in its path. Past couple days we've done some destroyer action, we've looked at carrier, we've looked at some cruisers, and I think it's time to go back to battleships. Yes. So we are looking at a tier 10 game. Of course, when you're tier 10, you're always top tier. It's something horribly flawed with the game, but I guess we have to go with it. So let's get some screenshots and talk about the ship and all that good stuff, right? And I kind of like that already, right there, like Yamato with the fleet, right? It's kind of cool. Yeah. Let's go up a little bit more like that. Now, what's so special about the Yamato, you might say? Well, it has to do with these guns. There we go, that's better. These guns are 18, that's right, 18.1 inches. Compare that to the Iowa, the Montana 16-inch, and you'll understand why people love the Yamato so much. She's got what's called the ability to lull pen people. What that means is basically they'll penetrate anything, just about. They can overmatch most armor for battleships even. If enemy Iowa, Montana goes bow onto it, the Yamato just laughs and penetrates anyways. So this is the true queen of the seas when it comes to the ultimate in battleship technology. And let's move a little bit over here like this. She also has pretty good secondaries. Got a couple of 155ers here. So 2 turrets of those, a bunch of dual purpose, I think these are 127s, or pretty sure they're 127s, and then a decent amount of anti-air as well. Got a catapult aircraft, and you can see, I mean, she's ginormous. It's got a pretty good armored belt, pretty good torpedo bulkhead there, you get the idea. Let's talk about the flags that are being used in this situation. Oh, this is cool. Oh, sorry. I got distracted. This is cool. What is this? Is this an optical rangefinder? I think it is. That is really cool, guys. I never even saw that in the model before. Oh, man. New things you learn every day. Anyway, let's talk about flags. We've got... Alright. I don't know why these two are being used. These two are fire flags. They increase the chance of doing fires or starting fires. Once again, this is a battleship. It's not British, so you're going to be firing AP. So this is only going to help your secondaries. I think these are 2 wasted flags. In addition, it increases your chance of detonation, which is usually not a good thing. So I wouldn't run these 2. We've got the speed flag over here, so you can move a little bit faster. That's not a bad idea in this ship. It goes 27 knots, and obviously that allows you to move a little bit quicker, to maneuver easier, get around torps, that sort of thing. And this flag here, I gotta think about that for a second. I need to remember what that flag is off the top of my head. I just don't recall seeing it that often. I'm at a loss for words right now. I apologize for that, guys. I don't know. And I don't want to tab out and consult the wiki either. I've made a decision that next time I get access to a copier or printer, I'm going to print out the wiki page on the flags, which you all should do, by the way, and have that handy so I can take a look at it. But anyway, not the optimal flag setup for this ship by far. There's a couple key flags you're missing. One flag is the one that reduces the amount of duration of your fires. That one's important. The other one that you're missing is the one that increases your health repair from your repair party. So that's also something that I think is pretty much a must-have for all battleships. Um, the ramming flag would be nice. You just never know when you get a good ram in, and that would help you save your ship if that were to occur. There's the oh, you know what? Are you? I think you're running the one that boosts secondaries. I think that's the flag that boosts secondaries. Okay, so that's a good one to run. Um, and let me think here. Anti-air one might be a good one to use too. The one that reduces your reload, or not your reload, your consumable one. November Foxtrot would be very helpful. I wanted to zoom in for a second too, by the way. What else? Anti-air flag. 10% DPS of anti-air would be good. This here is a very weak spot in the Yamato's armor scheme. So I just wanted to point this out. If you ever face a Yamato and that Yamato tries to kite away from you, aim for right here. Aim for this plate. It's a very big structural weakness. Aside from that, sometimes you can get some pens in from this angle too. But the Yamato is very difficult, of course, to Citadel. Oops, there we go. So, apologize for pausing again there, but I wanted to showcase that. Let's talk about consumables. We have Premium Damage Control Party, which is a must for battleships. We do not, I'm not seeing Premium Repair Party. And I think that's a bad idea. You're taking out a tier 10. It's very expensive to use, and you're not willing to invest a little bit of extra money in terms of credits or doubloons. Most people use credits in order to ensure that your ship stays afloat longer. So I think that's a bit of a missed opportunity there. And this one, your catapult fighter, it's useful, especially in games of carriers. It's not going to be useful here as much, except for maybe spotting something. So there's that. Ooh, you've got Yamamoto in the Yamato. Let's talk about a couple of other things that I'm noticing here right off the bat. You beached on purpose, I'm going to assume. And that's kind of a smart idea. You were spotted, you knew that ships were looking at you, and they were most likely going to be destroyers. So by intentionally beaching yourself, what you're doing is you're stopping your forward motion quickly, much quicker than you would stop on your own. And that enables you to stay behind this island. And by staying behind this island, torpedoes coming from this direction will not hit, which is smart. Unfortunately, the gearing was spotted here, Kagero was spotted here going this way, which means you're probably going to see torpedoes coming in from the right side of you. So you have come to a complete dead stop, and to be honest, I wouldn't be doing that. I'd be moving farther backwards. You fired off your catapult fighter, which is a good idea. At this point, you need to see what's around you, and that might detect torpedoes a little bit earlier. That might help to detect enemy destroyers. I honestly, man, I think you should not be shooting a Montana right now. You should be shooting this gearing and this Zao, because I think those are going to be your bigger threats, especially now that Yugumo lost to the gearing. Yeah, that's going to hurt you. So we've got a line which is going to spam HE, which just sets you on fire. No surprise there. We've got a Montana that's shooting, it looks like it's AP, and going to do absolutely nothing against you. Meanwhile, Lolpen, there it is. Your first Citadel of the game. Alright, you've used your damage control party, and now you're using your repair. You're using the repair a little early, but at the same time, I can understand why. You're being focused by a lot of ships right now. But personally, with that one fire, I would have held off on using your damage control, and instead, I would have suggested that you instead try to let that fire burn out because of this situation right here. You're probably going to take that torpedo on the nose, which is a bad idea. And now you're flooding for a bit. Now, the reason why I say it's a bad idea to take the torpedo on the nose is it's almost a guaranteed flood. if you had taken the torpedo on your belt, see this bit here, this is your torpedo belt. If you had taken it on that belt on either side, the damage you took would have been reduced, and the chance of you flooding would have been much more reduced too. So you have the speed flag mounted, yet you are doing what so many other Yamato captains do, which is simply go bow in and reverse. It is incredibly boring gameplay, very static, and to be honest, I think it's kind of useless. Because, as you see, all they had to do was find you, and they said torp out, and boom, you almost went down. Now, you're a bit lucky here because the North Carolina has stupidly moved too far forward, and that gearing is probably going to punish him. And you're not being detected, which means that the... Oh, hey, you're being detected. I was going to say that that destroyer hasn't gone that close. Now he has. So, you got somebody that got a double strike. Nice job on the Z-46. Too bad he died. But, oh well. Now here you go again. You're lining up a shot on a battleship, and a New Orleans just got spotted. So you should be shooting that guy. Oh, replay bug. That's fun. And I see you're lining up a shot. Okay, and you're not sure exactly where he's going to go, so you kind of moved around a little bit with your shot, which makes sense. Oh, almost. Your rear turret did not come into play, though. That happens to me all the time, too, right? Where I'm almost about to use my rear turret, and I start turning, thinking I've got the shot, and then, sure enough, I don't have the shot. So, it happens. So yeah, you're abandoning this flank, which makes sense. At this point, there's definitely no reason to stick around and just get yourself killed. Clearly, the destroyers have superiority in this local area, which means that they will spot you. You can't really do much against them, and they're just going to lob torpedoes your way. So you're making the right decision here. But I think that at the beginning of the game, had you helped your Yagumo shoot that gearing, I think it would have been a very different situation. You might have gotten him killed. You also notice the turrets take forever to rotate. So when you change sides like this, it sometimes is an eternity before you can really shoot. So, keep that in mind. And also, see, in this situation, I think if you had premium repair party, one, you'd probably be hitting your third repair party already, so you'd have more hit points, and two, you'd basically have one more charge in addition. So, something to keep in mind. Plane up again. Looks to me like you're going to try to retreat into the channel. Generally speaking, that's a bad idea because if you do that, they're just going to nail you as you come through. You see that Frederick just had a couple of torpedoes sent his way. So now you're pushing into that. Another thing too, you fired there. I personally would not have fired. By shooting, you just told the entire enemy where you were, and they now see you going into the channel. And because they see you going into the channel, they're foaming at the mouth, and they're getting ready for you. You can see that, right? The gearing's looking at you, and the gearing is saying, food. That's all he's excited about. New Orleans has turned away. The Lion and Zhao are the only ones left on that flank. Everybody else, see? They see you. They know you're coming. And what are you going to do? Absolutely nothing. Even this rune is lobbing torpedoes at you because it's 6 kilometer. And decent shells. The rune has that turtleback armor, so it's really difficult for the your shells to hit him in the citadel. You typically want to aim a little bit lower than that. Actually, just a little lower than the waterline if you really want to citadel. But that's a really difficult position to put yourself into. Because there's a good chance your shells will just derp into the water and won't do damage at all. Alright, so you recognized the threat of those two destroyers that were racing to get easy torps, and you're reversing, which is very smart, because now the Kagero is going to have to chase you if he wants to get that easy damage. And you can see that the Rune is doing the same thing. You might as well use your DCP now. You have no more repairs. And a little bit farther back, and now the Lion is going to be able to set you on fire. So you're in a very, very tight spot here. And you need to be very cognizant of that. You got to keep your turrets forward too, so they can fire as soon as something comes around that corner. I would not take that shot. You know what you're doing? You're hoping, right, that you're hoping that you can get a shot in, but that's not going to work. You should be looking only at the channel and waiting to see what happens. Alright, so you're doing something smart there. You stopped so that the Lion cannot detect you. I would not be moving forward. And the reason why I wouldn't be moving forward is because if a destroyer comes around there right now, to stop and reverse takes forever. But you see the gearing isn't being baited, the Kagero isn't being baited, so at this point, hell, I would just charge right in. I mean, clearly the destroyers don't want to, don't want to play, so you're in a position right now to do absolutely nothing for your team. So you gotta think about what you can do for it. Had you moved forward, when you see, the thing is, as soon as you saw the Kagero here and the gearing kind of looping around here, I mean, it should be kind of a good indicator to you that the enemy team is waiting for you. And, basically, I guess in a sense, you became a threat there that the enemy team wanted to wait for and see what would come out of it. That being said, I think, I don't know. I think that this team is, the enemy team is finding ways to lose right now. Oh, gearing. See, now you want to shoot the gearing all of a sudden. And look at that. 3 overpens, 4k damage. And this is what I mean about why it's so important to be shooting at destroyers. You did a ton of damage there to that destroyer. And now you're afraid to come around the corner, which I guess it makes sense. Now, remember that flat area? I just showed everybody this flat area. You need to be shooting right about there. And you're a little bit forward, but that's okay because look at that. 29k damage. That Nagato is pretty darn broadside to you. And I'm not sure why you're turning your guns that direction. Because as soon as your guns reload, you want to punish this guy. Or are you thinking about that gearing that's probably torpedoing you? You can see the secondaries have done a little bit of work, but not too much. She really does well when you spec for manual control secondaries. But that's about it. And to be honest, as a battleship, she's not the greatest at secondaries. Nice kill, secure there. Also, you did a nice job backing up. You recognized the threat of the gearing torpedoes, and you backed up and dodged them. So that's good. Now, the question is, what do you do now? You can wait for your team to catch up. Rune, it looks like maybe reversing. It's really hard to tell. You're going farther back because you figured, hey, you just got spotted. It's a safe play, safe bet. The way the battle is unfolding, don't. You're pretty much the lowest of the team, so jumping forward like this is probably going to get you killed. So I don't know. I don't like this. Um, I think this could have been played very differently. Anyway, so Silver, one other thing too I notice here is you haven't really communicated with your team at all until just now when you told the group, hey, this guy's low health, kill him. And I think that's something that a lot of players don't do either. Being the top tier battleship that you are, you have tremendous influence over the battle, and I think you need to communicate more with that team and let them know what you're looking to do and what you're trying to do. Um, this is not looking good. You're basically one ship from death here, and you're at 110 damage, which is respectable. It's not phenomenal. You're wasting a lot of time moving around. Now, here's a fun little. I'm gonna pause it here. Here's a fun little trick you can do. Hit Control. I think it's no. I think it's Shift and S or Control. Shift and X or Control X. I don't remember which one off the top of my head. But one of them will lock your guns on a bearing. So if you want to look around, you can do that. You could say, I'm going to lock my guns on bearing, and then I'm going to look around. The other option is you hold down the right click. Okay, so you keep looking, you look at your target that you want to shoot, then you hit the right click button that allows you to look around, and as soon as you let go of right click, it snaps you back to what you were looking at. And the important thing about that is it keeps your guns on target. And that would have helped you get a shot off on the rune there. That might actually have saved this battle if you had gotten the kill. Let's continue a bit and see what happens, because I honestly have no idea where we're going here. Looks to me like all of a sudden you want to kill this lion. And look, a destroyer that's clearly expecting you to push around. And you are going to... Nope. See, you should have shot that rune. That rune is gonna wreck your Shimakaze over there. Probably. Oh, geez. Hello, Kagero. You're dead. Unless the Kagero has stupidly fired torpedoes already. So, if that's the case, I mean, I don't know. But... Nice! See, again, lol pen machine, right? This is why it's so helpful. I would have also suggested you anticipate that movement a little bit. You know he's probably going to spring forward. Your guns move so slowly, so kind of pre-aim, so to speak, get them ready. Gearing flooded out to North Carolina. What that should tell you is that the gearing is nowhere near you. And so you're relatively safe from torpedoes. Whoa. Alright, so this game just kind of came back, maybe. Montana might die to torpedoes. We'll see. Here's the rune. 2 minutes left. This is a bit of a nail biter. You're losing by 5 points, so you have to do something in order to earn that point back. There we go. Okay. Now you've ticked up. So at this point, it's a game of survival. You can live, and the Montana can live, and the Shimakaze can live. You win! Yeah, Silver, I don't know how any of it worked either, to be honest. I thought you were just going into the channel to die, so nice job surviving. The game's not over yet. It's over. Even if one ship dies at this point, like Montana can go freaking die, and it doesn't matter, right? And that rune, I don't know what that rune was thinking, but he definitely didn't play that well. I think this is going to be the end. Yep. All right. So we're going to stop here. Guys, thanks for watching. As always, comment, like, subscribe, whatever. And more importantly, send me some replays. I'd love to take a look at them. Silver, look, first of all, nice job surviving, right? Second of all, I would highly recommend you re-examine your flag decisions and choose flags that are going to be more helpful for the long run. And then finally, Premium Repair Party, man, you got to use it. You gotta use it. This game would have been so different. If you had that premium repair party, your health would be like over here. And then if you had those flags too, if you had that flag that it increased your hit points repaired, your health would be about here. What's the difference? You'd have twice the health now at the end of the battle. You'd be much more confident. You'd be much more ready to push in and do things and not be so worried about losing that health. So I want to say, regardless, you won. That's what matters the most. A few things to you know, kind of change around, and you know, this is kind of nice, especially if you watch Arlios's latest video. He opens up with the definition of insanity and people that just keep pushing through channels like you did, and you had different results. I think I'm going to go insane. Have a great day, guys.